Hi guys. Hey, so when I was a kid in school, my first year at junior high, I walked into the junior high gym where all the kids were there for a dance, and all the guys were on one side and all the girls were on the other side, and nothing was going on. So I walked up to the prettiest girl in school and grabbed her hand and said, "Let's dance," because the music was on. So we danced, and I was about halfway into that, and I could see the guy who thought she was her girlfriend, and he came out and started dancing with her, and I went and found somebody else. Well, inside of a couple of songs, I had most of the kids in school out there dancing. So that was a little bit of my version of diplomacy. And when I was a World Trade delegate, I sort of did the same thing. There were some important things going on in the world, but I was able to get Afghanistan and Uruguay and Israel and Egypt to all participate in some way of economic enrichment for all of those countries. And nobody seemed to care what people's religious or political differences were, as long as they were all making money on it. The only reason why that idea didn't carry forward is I couldn't get the US delegation to sign off on it. So I tried again during the Obama years and still couldn't get him to sign off of it, and there's certainly no chance of that happening now. So what I'm saying is that when you get people to participate, when you get them involved in the things that they're interested in, it's a lot easier for you to make the world a better place. But right now, what we have going on in Congress is a little bit of a nightmare about where that's concerned. Because the Republicans, or one of the factions, or the Democrats, or one of the factions, will go off into a room by themselves and create this piece of paper and then take it out to Congress and say, "Here, vote for it." So they're not really participating. And if that happened in your household with your spouse, you probably wouldn't participate much either. So a couple who won't communicate is headed toward doom. Well, guess what happens when a Congress won't communicate? Somebody has to fix this. Here's a really good example of that. Okay, that the healthcare system. Do you know how long we've been trying to create a healthcare system? Would it surprise you to find out that Franklin Delano Roosevelt was trying to create one? I mean, after all, Germany and England both had one. Even France did, but we didn't. And that led him to create the Social Security system, because at least he could help take care of the seniors. Kennedy, when he was in office, tried to do the same thing, which led eventually to him creating the Aid to Family with Dependent Children through the USDA, because the president could do that. George W. Bush was trying to get something like that going, but what he was able to get done was the American with Disabilities Act, and I'm talking about George first, the first one, H.W. Bush. We have had national splits along party lines every time somebody has tried to do damn near anything good. Imagine if the person who was at the head of the class was nonpartisan. Imagine if somebody who had a good idea was trying to bring both Republicans and Democrats who shared the idea, and they were being nonpartisan. They weren't a member of any party, except for being an American citizen, which is exactly how I'm trying to run. So if you will go to my website, which is restoreanation.com, you'll be able to read the different plans that I have. But I truly believe that as a nonpartisan write-in candidate, so in other words, you're actually going to have to pick up a pen and write it in. By the way, it's really hard to hack one of these. So if you will write my name in, we'll be able to make some changes together, because you matter to me. And by the way, when you go to the website, please register. Please register so I can keep you informed of what we're doing, so I can send you some more information. And also, if you will please donate, because unfortunately there's money involved in politics, and they don't want to count you unless you've donated something. So please do that. But I want you to think about one last thing. We are the only industrialized country in the world that doesn't have health care. And I will record more about this. But if we had had a nonpartisan candidate as the President of the United States, how many political arguments would have ceased to exist just on that one subject? Thank you so much for giving me a few minutes of your day. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.